Hello everyone. Please let me know on a scale from 0 to 10 how is my audio and my image. Hello Tesh, hello Kennedy, hello Carmelo, hello Wafa, hello Vindra, hello David, Joel, Nicoluzzi, hello Ayelen, hello Ik. I hope you all are doing excellent. Thank you so much for joining me in this session. We'll be talking about one of the most important graphical tools in Lean Six Sigma. In fact, one of the most important graphical tools in quality management in general. And on top of the graph itself, there is a beautiful and powerful concept behind a Pareto that is applicable anywhere, because we are talking about prioritization. And it's so important to rank things in life. It's very important to rank the problems that must be solved. Yeah, what's the criteria? What's the list of criteria that you use to select the problems to be solved in your professional life and in your personal life, What's the criteria, the list of criteria that you are using to rank the causes, that you wanna tackle to solve a selected problem? What's the list of criteria that you use to select the process steps that you want to deep dive to better understand your process? What's the list of criteria that you use to select the best solutions for a known cause? So after you have a root cause in hands, you will diverge again and you will have a list of solutions. So how can we define, in this case, the best solutions to address this root cause? And at the very end, how can we select the best control elements to maintain the positive results? So when we talk about Pareto, we are talking about prioritization, and prioritization is by far one of the most important it's more than a concept, it's a principle. If you want to optimize the usage of your time, of your energy, you must consider the principle of prioritization. It's extremely important. Okay, so if you've heard hi Joseph, hi everyone, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have hundreds of people live here with me. It's definitely a pleasure. Thank you so much. I have just two questions just for me to have a sense of the audience right now. Okay, type here for me, where are you in the Lean Six Sigma journey? For example, I am completely new, or I am a certified white belt, or you are a certified yellow belt, or you are a certified green belt, or you are a GB student, a green belt student, a yellow belt student, or you are a certified black belt. Where are you right now, just for me to have a sense? Okay, so we have a lot of whites. Yeah, perfect. So the vast majority whites. Oh, we have one green belt. Okay, we have green belt students. Perfect. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, the vast majority white belt. Excellent. I have just one more question. On a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is, Marcelo, I've never heard about Pareto. And 10 is, Marcelo, I have applied. I had a chance to apply Pareto. So where are you? On a scale from 0 to 10, 0. No, Marcelo, from scratch. Please start from scratch. I know nothing about Pareto. And 10 is, I know theory and I had a chance to apply. So I see tens, I see a lot of zeros, I see few tens, yeah. I see 5, 2, okay, okay, okay. Okay, I will kindly ask my supporting team to take all these numbers and plot a histogram for me, okay? No, I'm joking. Imagine that. Carlitos, Serafa, and Taina. My supporting team. Picture that. Number by number, Minitab, histogram, probability distribution. What's the mean standard deviation? Oh my god, no. I will not do that for you guys, okay? I'll not do that for you guys. Okay, perfect. Just to have a sense. Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about the name Pareto, okay? Vilfredo Pareto, yeah? It's a guy from Italy. In fact, some authors say that he was born in Paris, in France, yeah? But then, let's say, the vast majority of his life he spent in Italy, yeah. And Pareto presented an interesting figure, an interesting picture, that is 80%, 80% of the money in Italy was concentrated in 20%, 20% of the people. So he was pointing out to some sort of unbalanced picture, you know, because let's say I don't want get into, you know, like a dangerous discussion, you know, but I believe we can consider that it would be fair, you know, to have an equal, you know, distribution of capital, of money, yeah. And then he figured out that 80% of the money was really concentrated in 20% of the people. And then again, we cannot confirm this with 100% of confidence. But many people say that Joseph Juran, one of the most important quality gurus of all times, used this picture, you know, in quality management, you know, to argue that, for example, if you have 100 different defects in a production line, for example, or in an office, you know, in service environment, if you have 100 different defects, you don't need to address all of them. Very likely, out of these 100 defects, there will be 20 that corresponds to 80% of the effect. And what is an effect? You can call a negative effect simply the number of defects, you know, because we will have an unequal distribution of the defects in terms of frequency, in terms of absolute number, quantity, yeah. You can argue that there is a different picture in terms of our distribution of effects in terms of cost, of severity, of, if we think in terms of not now in terms of defects, but in terms of services, different services, delivery time, you know. So we'll have an unequal distribution of times if we picture different services. But going back to the defects, if this is true, it's my responsibility to find those defects. Because if I am able to tackle, to address the most critical defects, I am at the end of the day optimizing my energy, the energy of my team. Does it make sense? So please type here for me. Type here for me if that makes sense. Type here for me if that makes sense. It's absolutely mandatory that I spend energy to identify the most critical defects in this example, because then I am talking about optimizing my time. And that's why I am a really fan of Pareto, of this message, because this is applicable in many different dimensions, again, of our professional life and our personal life. Why? Because resources are limited. I have just so many associates. I have just this amount of energy, this number of hours. Yeah, resources are not infinite, unfortunately. Unfortunately. It would be amazing if resources were infinite, yeah, but they are not. So it's mandatory. Otherwise, we will be operating with a high risk to spend energy on things that are not critical. Yeah? Maybe you are spending energy just because there is one boss that has a loud voice. That's why my first question was, what's the list of criteria that you are using to prioritize the problems, your projects, your professional career, the root cause of your problem, the solutions for your root cause, the control elements for your solution? You know, what's the list of criteria? You know, you must have a picture that presents the different levels of importance to things. You must have. You must have. Otherwise, again, the risk to spend energy with things that are not important, you know, it's very high. It's very high. And spending energy on things that are not important is what? Waste. And if you were my white belt student, you know that we fight waste. We don't like waste. We fight waste. Yeah. So yeah, correct, Dorcas, Vindra, Onunaku, yes, Maudeline, you are right, Margaret. This is a serious conversation. So when we talk about Pareto, there is this graphical tool, but again, the concept, you know, it's beautiful. The concept touches, you know, a kind of principle, you know, that the importance of prioritization to optimize the usage of our energy. Yeah. There is a very beautiful concept. I don't know if you guys have heard. They call vital few. Vital few. Yeah. Vital few. Few of not many, you know. Let me type here. Vital few. Let me type in our chat window. Meaning, at the end of the day, it's really a short list of things that really matter. Yeah. Again, this is applicable for business, and this is applicable for life. Yeah, for life. Yeah. Excellent. Now let's go to the to the technical piece. Yeah, in terms of the introduction, are we on the same page? Yeah, are we on the same page in terms of introduction? Yeah, wonderful. I will be using here Minitab. Minitab is it's a very famous statistical software. Yeah, but again, when I put my Lean Six Sigma instructor hat, you know, I don't want you to feel forced to use Minitab. You can use any software, guys. You can use any software. You can do your Pareto in Excel. You can do in, I don't know, Statistica, in Action, in Jump. At this point, I truly don't care, you know. You can plot your Pareto using pen and paper, you know, using Post-its, you know. It doesn't matter. I want to touch, you know, your heart, and then you can use with any app, any software, or without any software. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, you guys, can you guys see me, and can you guys see Minitab? Please let me know if you guys can see me. Hi everyone. Hi everybody. And I hope you can see Minitab here. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. I am using the example that you will find on Minitab Help. Yeah, so for any technique or tool that you wanna run in Minitab, you have a button at the left lower corner that when you hit this button, you will have access to the Minitab Help, and it's very Minitab Help is very helpful. That's a good quote. That's a wise quote. Come on. Minitab Help is helpful. Oh my god. Oh my god. I say that it is helpful because you have an overview of the theory, you have exercise. If you are crazy, you know, very much into stats, depending on the tool, you'll find at the very bottom all the methods and formulas, you know, if you want to understand really the math behind Pareto. It's super simple, super simple. But for example, hypothesis testing or regression or DOE, design of experiments, if you want to know the, you know, or measurement system analysis, attribute agreement analysis. It's an important technique to evaluate the measurement system for discrete data. You can find all the formulas, you know, there, in case you are crazy about math, in case you want to really deep dive in the concepts. Yes. And once again, you will find examples like this one that I have presented here. You know, we are talking about a clothing manufacturing line, and we have basically 6 types of defects. You know, missing button, yeah, missing button, for example, loose thread, yeah, misaligned fabric, you know. Fabric flaws, defects, fabrics that are defectives, yes. Stitching errors or with machine, yeah. And hemming, yeah. Hemming errors, like at the very bottom of your clothes, you know, when you need to adjust, you know, the size, depending on the size of your leg, you need to adjust your pants, you know, and so we call this hemming. Yeah, so picture hemming errors, stitching errors, fabric flaws, misaligned fabric, loose thread, and missing button. And then we have the count. We found 217 missing buttons. We found 67 defects like loose thread. We found 18 defects like misaligned fabric, 23 defects for fabric flaws, 100 and 12 stitching errors, and 43 hemming errors. Yeah, wonderful. Again, if you are a Minitab user, here there is a trick. Here there is a trick. Pareto, even knowing that Pareto is a graphical tool, because it's so famous and it's so much used in quality management, Minitab decided to place not in graph, so you not find Pareto here. You will not find Pareto here. You find Pareto here under stat, and quality tools, okay? Stat and quality tools, and then you find Pareto, okay? And you find Pareto. So again, stat, quality tools, yeah, and then Pareto. In case you have an older version of Minitab, that's okay too. That's okay too. You will find in the very same path. Okay, stat, quality tools, and Pareto. So if we go there, Pareto chart, yeah, Pareto chart, and then I need to indicate here that's interesting. I need to indicate the column where I have defects or attribute data, yeah. And it's interesting, attribute data, because sometimes we are not talking about defects, Sometimes we are not talking about defects. Let's suppose I want to compare. now I'm gonna sound silly, okay? I'm gonna compare the number of World Cups in South America. Soccer World Cup, yeah? So Brazil won, I don't know, five maybe. Brazil won 5. And then I will compare with Argentina. Argentina, my lovely friends from Argentina. And then I'll compare with Uruguay. And then I'll compare with Peru. And then I'll compare with Colombia, yeah? And then I'll compare with Paraguay. And then I'll compare with Chile, yeah? Wonderful. It's not a defect. Brazil, come on. Brazil is not a defect, Argentina is not a defect, Argentina is not a defect. Uruguay is not a defect. Paraguay is not a defect. It's a country. We are talking about countries, yeah? In this case, it's what we call discrete data or attribute data. Attribute data, we have binomial, good and bad, yeah? Or we have a ordinal. When I say on a scale from 0 to 10, in fact, it's discrete data. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can have nominal. So Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, it's really nominal. It's one kind of discrete data, yeah? Perfect. And then I can either have a column with a lot of Brazil, Argentina, and then Minitab will automatically count all of that and plot Pareto. Or I can place the column with the defects or attribute data, and in the next column, the number of defects, or in this case, the number of World Cups, yes? So in this case, I have here summarized data. I have defects and I have already the count, so I can just indicate here the column with defect and indicate here the frequency that is count, okay? So defect and count, okay? And that's it. Yeah, so I hope you all can see. I have here, let me just check if you guys got it. What is the most critical defect? What's the most critical defect? Please type here for me. I will quickly run to grab some water, okay? Wait for me here. Type here for me. What's the most critical defect? And what's the contribution in terms of percentage? Just 1 second. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, can you guys see? Can you guys see that missing button? Missing button is the most critical defect in terms of quantity. Yeah, in terms of frequency, 217, 217, yeah, and it represents 45.2%, 45.2%, yeah. The second one is stitching errors, stitching errors, yeah. We got 112, only stitching errors. We are talking about 23.3%. So this bar here corresponds to 23.3%. Yeah. And if I add up, if I sum 45.2 plus 23.3, I get 68.5. So this is the cumulative percentage. Yeah, the same here for loose thread. And by the way, with loose thread, we got 82.5% of the defects. So in terms of frequency, see, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. In terms of frequency, I have 6 different types of defects. Come on. If you go and say to a, let's say, to a respectfully to a person that is not into the quality management world, and you say, I had 6 problems in my professional life. I have I manage a clothing manufacturing production manufacturing company, you know, and I have 6 defects. If you say to this person, out of these 6 defects, I was able to eliminate 3. Now I have only 3 defects. If you say to a regular person, not necessarily in quality management world, if you say, I had 6 problems, now I have only 3 problems, and then you ask, what's the percentage of my headache that went away? Type here for me. What's the percentage of my headache? Picture that I have a clothing manufacturing company, you know, and I had 6 defects. 6 defects. You know, out of these 6 defects, I was able to eliminate 3. So I was able to eliminate what to a normal person. Yes, Kinomotsu. Yes. A regular person, a normal person would say, wow, so now you have only half of your problems. And that is the beauty of prioritization. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Attention, attention, ladies and gentlemen. That's the beauty of prioritization. That's the beauty of prioritization. Because if you properly prioritize your problems and tackle and touch the most critical problems, the number will always be, in this case, half of the items. If you tackle half of the items and they are the most important ones, the effect will be always greater than 50%. Always. Always. See? I mean, we cannot live, we cannot manage processes without prioritization. Prioritization must be deeply, deeply in our hearts. That makes sense or not? Type here for me. That makes sense or not, this quote. The principle, the concept of prioritization must be deeply present in our hearts. Deeply present in our hearts. Otherwise, we'll be randomly fixing problems, randomly. Amateur. Are you willing to apply FIFO? Are you willing to live in a FIFO mode? First in, first out, yeah? What's the problem? Okay, let me solve this problem. Okay, next one. Okay, are you willing to manage your professional and your career like this? Yeah, let's see what I got. Now let me open up my email here. FIFO, first in, first out. I don't know. Honestly, as your mentor, I do not recommend. Do not recommend. Please, hashtag no FIFO. In terms of problem solving, in terms of tackling, the right problems, the right root causes, the right solutions. No FIFO. Hashtag no FIFO. No FIFO. You need to prioritize. Yeah? You need to prioritize. Yeah? You need to prioritize. You must prioritize. Yeah? Beautiful. Excellent. It's very common that we concentrate 5% of the items in a category named other. So it's very common to find this. Oops, let's see. To find this here. Other. Yeah? In case you don't want to have this other, you can just come and check here. Do not combine. If you switch to do not combine, then you will have all the categories. In this case it's just one, but many times you have more than one, and then you need to balance, because if you have many categories that does not add up to more than 5%, then your Pareto will be very difficult to read. It will be very hard to read, very hard to read. So depending on the situation, you definitely want to use this 5%. Yeah, there is some cosmetic, improvement that you can make here, just in case you want to. Let me see. Yeah, you want, for example, to change the color, you know, if you click once, then you select all the bars. Yeah, if you click twice, but it's not double click, yeah, then you select just one, and now you double click, and then you can, for example, change to, I don't know, to red, for example, yeah, and then you can change this second one to yellow, for example, yeah, and then you can change this one for, if you want to change the title, you can as well. You can put, for example, my first Pareto with Professor Marcelo. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, are we good so far? Let me see if we have questions. I really like your teaching. Oh, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much. 50% of since the way to evaluate the accuracy of our model. I think here, Slimani, yeah, the accuracy of the model, it's a very important conversation, but it's a different conversation. Yes, I think you were talking about confidence level, 95% confidence level. It's a very it's a classic confidence level to be used in inferential statistics, and as a consequence we have 1 minus 95%. That's the 5% of significance level, very much used when you want to check if your conclusion is statistically significant. Yeah, there is a fresh example that we can use if you guys access the Lancet, yeah, the journal in Oxford. You can find many papers, open papers about the vaccines. You know, the process to get a final version of a vaccine. You'll find a lot of hypothesis testing. So they do not release a vaccine before having results that are statistically significant. So what does it mean, statistically significant? It means that you can infer, you can project, according to the sample, you can infer, you can project to the population, okay? Considering a certain level of confidence. Yeah, there is no 100%. There is no 100%. And here we can extrapolate to to life in general, yeah? We will never be 100% sure about anything, yeah? No event has absolute zero probability of occurrence, if we want to to put a bit of philosophy here, right? And this is applicable in quality in management in general, yeah? So it's a different conversation, but very important as well. Very important as well. In this case, it's just 5% as a reference to concentrate and to avoid because see, the beauty of a graphical tool is that you need in 10 seconds to take all the most important insights. A good graph will give you the full picture in 10 seconds. Yeah, where are you? If we are good or in a bad situation, what kind of insights can we take? And a good graph will really suggest actions. You know, it's the rule of 10 seconds. Yeah, how are we? The status versus the target, insights, and insights in terms of where should we deep dive, and fourth, suggestions in terms of actions, you know. And then when we have way too many items in our Pareto, imagine a Pareto. Let me try to create here you know, an example with a crazy Pareto. Okay, what would be a crazy Pareto? So imagine that you have different problems and frequency. Yeah, frequency. So let me see if I can generate here some random data. Integer. Yeah, let me see. And then problems. Wait a second. Creating real time. An example to my lovely students, okay? I'm gonna create maybe just text. Maybe. Let's see if it will work, just to give you a flavor of the what would be a confusing Pareto, you know? Yeah, only A, B. I know how to do that. I know how to do that. Problems from 1 to 100. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, excellent. So see, if I have a Pareto like this with 100 data points, it's impossible to read, right? What kind of conclusions can we take from a Pareto like this with 100 data points? You know, it's really impossible. It's really, really, really impossible. And sometimes even grouping, like even if we take, for example, this 5%, you know, see, it gets, yeah, a little bit better, but not that much, And then you need to regroup, yeah? Or sometimes to focus, for example, on 50% only, then it gets a little bit more readable. Yeah, a little bit more readable. Yeah, but then the other category gets very high. So in terms of quality of your conclusions, it's not good. Yeah, beautiful. Wonderful. This session, yes, I will be coming here regularly, yeah, to talk about topics related to Lean Six Sigma. Yeah, the Pareto session is just today. It's a 60-minute session. Yeah, wonderful. See, does the curve in Pareto always goes up? Yes, always. Ahmed, great question. It always goes up. Always goes up. Yeah, because it's the cumulative frequency. Yeah, so see that here, it's the cumulative frequency. So this data point here is 45.2%. This data point here is 68.5. See? This data point here is 82.5. Yeah? Beautiful. Wonderful. Great question. Great question. Great question. I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you. In this case, do we have an 8-20 Pareto? Do we have 80% of the effects concentrated in 20% of the items? Yes or not? Yes or not? Yvette, you can find on the website, yeah, minitab.com, and you can download the free version. It's 21, Minitab 21 now. Yeah. Perfect. I don't know, guys. I don't know when we will have another white belt slash yellow and green belt. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. But every time that we have a white belt offer, we will be opening up for yellow and green. Okay. So I really hope, if you were not able to join us in this previous session, I really hope you have the opportunity to be with us in the future. Okay. Very likely we'll have other opportunities. Thank you for your interest. Thank you so much. Rokia, what's the benefit of Pareto? The main benefit of Pareto. Oh, let me ask you guys. You guys, what's the main, in one word, type here for me, everybody. What's the main benefit of Pareto? And I love Abderrashid, I love Brian. Your response is right. I'm gonna explore that. Okay, I'm gonna explore that. But just before that, let's yes, Eileen. In one word, it's prioritization. By far the most important benefit of plotting a graph like this is really to show to the entire team, or to your customer, or to your manager, you know, that where we must focus, where should we spend energy, you know, where should we spend energy? Yeah, wonderful. You guys are right. This is not an 8-20 Pareto. And by the way, this is one of the most important things that you need to understand today. Many people make this mistake. They think that 8-20, it's like 20, it's 100% minus 80. And it's not. Many people say, no, it's a 70-30, it's a 50-50, it's a 40-60, it's a 90-10. No, it doesn't need to add up to 100%. Why? Because we are talking about different dimensions. We are talking about different dimensions. The 80%, we are talking about Y scale. We are talking about effect. We are talking about output. And the 20%, we are talking about X. In this case, we are talking about the percentage of defects. The percentage in terms of types of defects. How many types of defects do we have here? Just to guarantee we are on the same page. How many types of defects we have here? Type here for me. How many defects are you seeing here? How many defects can you see here? Ononaku, Bruce, Day, Maudeline, Wafa, Eileen, Willie, bravo, bravo. We have 6 defects. So, in order for us to reach 80%, in fact 82.5%, 82.5% of the defects are concentrated in 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. And by the way, let me just put, to make this super friendly, let me put in the very same color. The very same color. So, 3 out of 6, 50%. But tackling 3 defects, I'm gonna solve more than 50% of the problems, more. I'm gonna solve 82.5. That's the beauty of Pareto. That's the beauty. It's more than 50. So it's a beautiful unbalancement that tells us to please find the right problems to tackle. Don't go ahead and, oh, let me tackle misaligned fabric. Why? Because a certain boss was yelling at me, ah, this is the most important, see, this is the most important problem. And then you go there and you spend energy on that because you got an aggressive email. And I know it's not easy to deal with, you know, like politics, power games in corporates. I know that. But that's why we say that data is the most powerful equalizer. Because many times if you show to the boss that the problem that he or she thinks that is the most important problem is not the most important problem, many times he or she will say, thank you. So let's focus energy on the most important problems. Data is the most powerful equalizer. So in this case, we don't have an 8-20 Pareto. We have an 82.5-50. We have an 82.5-50. 82.5-50 Pareto. And it's a good Pareto. It's a very nice Pareto. Yeah? We are close. We are close to reach our 6-minute mark. Yeah? And I just want to present one final concept. Pareto is monodimensional, just one dimension. And this is good and bad. It's good because it's simple, but it's dangerous because in life, things in general are never mono. Are never, one-sided. No. Things are multiple. In general, problems have different sides, different angles. One angle is frequency. Another angle is severity. For example, related to safety. Another angle is cost. Sometimes one certain type of problem is way more expensive than another. So be very careful. One way to approach this multi-dimensionality of the things is to wait as in weight like this, okay? So you can add some factors, you know, to your variables in order to have a more complete picture. For example, let's suppose you find out that the cost for loose thread, you know, is 0.89 cents. The cost for a misaligned fabric is $5.12. The cost for fabric flaws, $4.89. Stitching errors, $1.89. Hemming errors, $4.23. The cost to rework, the rework cost, you know. So you definitely want to multiply. You want to multiply the cost per the number of defects. So you have a column with count times cost. Then you have another Pareto. It's another Pareto. You know, it's another Pareto. Oops. Take a look. In the past, I don't know if you guys can see, I think not. In the past, we got missing bottom as the most critical problem. And now we have stitching errors. Stitching errors used to be the second one. The second one in terms of frequency. But if you consider frequency and dollars, it becomes the first one. See, hemming errors used to be the fourth one. Now when you associate with dollars, it's the second. It's the second. Fabric flaws used to be the fifth one, and now it's the 30 one. So my recommendation is that when we talk about defects, please consider at least these two dimensions, frequency and cost, rework cost or final cost to the client. Yeah, or sometimes you want to consider scrap cost, you know, but please at least these two dimensions, yeah. Beautiful. Did you like it? Please type here for me if you were able to understand Pareto. Type here for me two numbers. Where were you before in terms of Pareto, and where are you now? Type here for me two numbers. Where were you before? Yeah? And where are you now? Where are you now? Where were you before? And where are you now? Before 0, now 10. Before 0, now 9. Before 0, now 10. Before 0, now 6. That's good too. Before 7, now 9. I like that. And it's important to practice. Okay? It's very important to practice. Do you guys remember this song here? I don't know if you guys remember. Oba, oba, oba. Mas que nada sai da minha frente que eu quero passar. O samba está animado e o que eu quero é sambar. Este samba que é um misto de maracatu. Samba de preto. Guys, thank you so much, and I will do all my best to open up for more lives like that. I hope you enjoy. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this session, and looking forward to seeing you if you are a green belt student for sure to seeing you very soon. And if you want to take our free white belt course in the future, for sure we'll be posting on the on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn as well, and it will be a pleasure to keep in contact with you all. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Edna. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you so much, Iotan. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Maria. Thank two Marias, Maria Damas and Maria Anima. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Camille, Carmelo. Bye bye. Bye bye.